If you've ever had this feeling that something was terribly wrong with the world that we live in, but you couldn't figure out just what it was, then you've come to the right place. Secret societies, mystery religions, and the Illuminati have been controlling our reality since the beginning of time. But not anymore, because there is an awakening happening, and you are about to become a part of it. Wake up, because this is a call for an uprising.
This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. I've talked about this since pretty much the get-go, the certificate, right? The health certificate that proves that you're immune and that you're okay to go about your life living in the world. I said that that was going to be something that was going to come in play because they weren't going to tell everyone they had to get the vax right off the bat because they're going to have the pushback. They're going to slander people like us in the media. They're going to say there's a bunch of these a-holes who refuse it. They're called anti-vax. And they're going to say they don't, even despite everything we've seen in the last year, they still refuse to get it, right? So everyone's going to complain about us, hate us, call us dangerous, right? And mainly it's going to be a lot of Christians who are awake, but even not. People who don't want to put that in their body, who know about the dangers of it, of putting this in their body. And I'm not just talking about the mark of the beast. I'm talking about people who know about, the causes of autism and all the stuff that they've seen in documentaries over the years, which show you the dangers of taking it, right? So they're going to go through that whole slander campaign. So they're not going to make it ultra mandatory off the bat. But what they're going to do is they're going to say, you can't do this, unless you have it, right? So they're going to take away more rights of the citizens, and they're going to reward those who do as they say and get the vax so that they can have their health certificate. Without a health certificate, you're not going to be able to fly. You're not going to be able to have your kids in school, which is a good thing, but not a good thing for two parents who have to work and can't afford to, get someone to watch their kids. That's a real problem. They might even go as far as to say parents are being negligent to their kids if they're not giving their kids the vax, and it's not fair. The kid should make the choice at 3 years old. They'll probably say that. I mean, I totally could see a thing like with the gender equality, where they say, oh, the 5-year-old wants to change genders and the parents say no, so we're going to take the kid out of the household. I could totally see them offering free C19 vaxes with every Happy Meal, and you get a toy from Frozen 4 by the time it comes out, or Frozen 3, by the time all this stuff comes out. And the kids will go, I want the Frozen 3 toy. All I got to do is get this shot. And then parents are like, no. And they go, yes, I want to. And then the government says, well, the kid should be allowed to decide. It's his body, his choice, right? And the kid will take it because the kid will want his toy because he's a kid. He doesn't have a clue even what this is, a shot. I mean, what? He just, oblivious, kind of like the kids who switch their genders. And that's the way that the whole thing rolls, right? But we have these moron talking heads on TV talking about, first of all, hurting us. Isn't that funny? They use the word herd about, about breaking the curve, the stupid saying that these robots, these Satanists keep saying over and over. But talk about hurting us, amongst other things, and getting health certificates to be allowed to go and live your life normally again.
So it sounds like he's on the same page. What then would be the mechanism for someone to obtain a so-called certificate of immunity?
Well, keep in mind, it's important to know who's not immune and who is immune. If you're a diabetic, hypertensive, who's 60 years old, you want to know if you're immune or not. If you're immune, most likely you have more freedom to go to the store without wearing a mask. But if you are not immune, by golly, you're going to wear a mask, you're going to wash your hands, and you're going to do everything to protect yourself. So if you just do broad testing, voluntary, but broad testing, and those who are immune know to protect themselves, those who are not immune know to protect themselves, and those who are immune can care for patients without wearing personal protective equipment, not fearing to be infected or to infect others, that's where we need to be.
Senator, what thoughts do you have on Google and Apple teaming up to develop a tracing mechanism like I described?
Yeah, it's voluntary, but it also allows somebody to protect themselves. Everybody's concerned about whatever. I'm concerned about not getting sick. If I want to voluntarily opt in, and then I can see, I've been exposed to somebody who might have been immune, that may change my behavior. Or if I can look and see, hey, go ahead.
No, please finish your answer.
And so I think that this actually is a mechanism by which the individual can assess their own risk, and that is what is important for an individual.
Yesterday, the president in his presser addressed the subject of herd immunity. Let's listen to a little of what he had to say.
If we did the herd, if we went with the herd, as they say, we would have had potentially, I mean, you see the charts. Nobody knows. Nobody will ever know, fortunately, because we're going to be substantially less than the minimum. I certainly hope, unless something happens that would be tragic.
Explain the science of herd immunity in lay terms and tell me, do we know if we're close to it?
Yeah, working backwards, we're probably not close to it yet. Herd immunity works this way. The virus goes out, each person infected infects 2 to 3 more, who then infect 2 to 3 more, who then infect 2 to 3 more. But if the virus goes out and I'm infected, and wait, this person is already immune, and that person is already immune, they block me, if you will, from infecting other people. The herd of people who are immune protect those who are not. Well-known factor. It varies from 40% of the population to 85%, somewhere in that range is where you get immunity, depending upon who is immune.
And this is exactly what they want to do. They want to talk about your privacy, talk about Google and Apple and all of them creating these things that are going to protect us from a disease that nobody sees anybody have. They only hear somebody has it. And even if they know somebody who does, for all you know, they could have had pneumonia, the flu, and been told they have it, because that's really the only thing that's happening. And the CDC has even admitted it. People have come forward how much money that these hospitals are making, these doctors are making for diagnosing people. And again, this is no different. If you've watched my channel since I started, I've covered these sick doctors who have literally told people that they have cancer and put them on chemo because they get paid a ton more money. So it's like just a scheme. I don't want to call it a pyramid scheme, but then they finally get busted. But I mean, they've made millions and millions of dollars making people sick by putting them on chemo when they're not sick in the first place, let alone the fact that chemo doesn't cure cancer anyway. But anyway, so the government's considering health certificates and proof of immunity established by a new antibody test. So the test will help assess spread of the virus across the country and dictate further easing of the lockdown, right? And again, everybody's going to want the health certificate because they're not going to want to be bothered with taking this test all the time. So they say people who test positive for the virus antibodies will not be given what they're calling an immunity passport because there's no proof they could not get it again. Instead, the government's discussing giving people a health certificate to confirm they have had the virus, meaning they will be able to enjoy greater freedom if and when proof of immunity has been established. So pretty much, go take all these tests, take your vax, so they can give you, because that's what it's really leading to, getting the vax. They'll say at first, well, proof of immunity, give us your DNA, spit in the cup, do all that other nonsense. We'll give you the proof of certificate here, of authenticity, that you can't spread it. But eventually they're going to say, look, that you're going to have to get a shot. We'll call it, the certificate 2.0. You get more upgrades in life, right? You get free travel because you went and got it. So, I mean, it sounds ridiculous, but it's true. So they're giving people the health certificate to confirm that they've had the virus, meaning they will be able to enjoy greater freedom. I mean, how unbelievable is that? When the immunity has been established. The government is in negotiations to buy millions of antibody tests from the Swiss firm, I believe it's called Roche, disclosed that their tests have become the first to be approved by the public health organizations in England. So this is really just, first of all, the fact that they're calling it herding, even the president talking about herding. I mean, that's because, is that a slap in the face of everyone who's awake? Because we all first of all, we know what they say in the Talmud about us, right? Us goyim. We're literally cattle to these people, right? And it's a herd mentality. They herd us. And they're coming out here, they're talking about how they're herding people right now. To be immune or not, to show who's immune or whatever the heck they're saying it's supposed to do to help ease the spread of something that doesn't even exist. But they're herding, and that is exactly what they're doing. They are herding people because that's all that they do. They socially engineer. I prefer to say that than herd. But herd, even the president talking about herd. It's a joke. It's an utter joke. So follow Big Brother, do what Big Brother says, you'll get your certificate, and then in the airport, you'll get to go in the line that isn't 6 feet apart, that doesn't take 4 hours to get through. You can get right on the plane, you don't have to wear your mask, you can probably be upgraded to first class, because they won't let people, I'm sure, when they travel, who don't have a certificate to travel first class, right? Only the privileged ones. Give people more of a caveat to get the testing done, to give up their rights, to get this shot in their body, and they'll be rewarded with things of this earth, like first class privileges, like upgrades on rental cars. And I'm just talking about travel stuff. I mean, let's be realistic. Probably get better mortgage rates, your social score, because remember, the social score is going to become a thing. I've been talking about that for years. Everybody has. The Black Mirror episode, which I constantly show you the clip of, it's not going to be, they've eased you in with your credit score, right? Everybody's like, oh, my credit score. It's the biggest joke that there is. The credit score. Give me a break. But it won't be the credit score. It'll be the social score. And it's going to be based off of your behavior and if you're in compliance with Big Brother. And those who are in compliance, you'll see the benefits through your life. Lower interest rates on your credit cards, lower mortgage rates, cutting lines, freebies here, freebies there. I'm serious. That's what it's going to go to. And a lot of it's going to have to do with what gets released out of this. What they say, okay, well, you have to get the vax. It'll improve you this or that. And that'll just be it. And people will line up because they'll be like, ooh, that's exciting. No more lines. All I have to do is take the mark of the beast. Okay. And I'm laughing because it's ridiculous. But when they say that the C-19 is changing our world forever, they're not lying. It is changing our world forever because lots of rights are going to be relinquished and lots of things are going to become mandatory. And we've already seen a lot of bills being passed and laws and restrictions being put in. I mean, hell, people have been self-quarantining themselves for months now. For months. Mandatory masks in certain states. Mandatory this. It's a joke. It's a total joke. So this is them talking about the health certificate, which is the big pat on the back from Big Brother. They're going to make people want to get it so that they don't have to live like this anymore. And the rest of us, well, we'll be the disappointments to society. Oh, those people who won't get their shots, they're horrible. They're making everyone else sick. Parents will willingly be giving it to their kids. And, it's Armageddon here on Earth. Let's be real. I want to thank everyone for listening to today's show. A reminder, check out my website at callfornuprising.com. It's $2.99 a month. The forum is really what it's all about over there. I upload videos, especially the ones that get taken down here, as well as new content. But the forum is a place you could share what's going on in your town, especially at a time like this. It's important. I have no idea what's going on in other states, really, other than what I see in the news, unless people email me. How else are any of us supposed to know? So you can share that stuff. You can share your videos, your YouTube channel, whatever you'd like. It's a really good place. So check it out if you haven't already. I want to thank the Patrons. Because of you, it keeps this channel going on YouTube. And, of course, the subscribers. Just thumbsing up the video helps. Watching the ads obviously helps. And just kind comments help as well. And the trolls. I always love the trolls, too. So I'll give them a shout out. But thank you all for being here. Love you guys. God bless you and your families.